Welcome to Thermomechanical Processing of Materials course in the E4 semester 1, which is professional core course. The course code is MM4101. In shortcut we call this particular course TMPM, Thermomechanical Processing of Materials, and this is the cover page of the textbook. The cover page of this textbook, Thermomechanical Processing of Metallic Material, it is the title of the textbook. The authors are Bert Weldin, Julian Driver, Indradev Samazdar and Doherty, Professor Doherty. These are the authors of the textbook, which includes this particular textbook is a suitable textbook for this particular course. You will have maximum content in this particular textbook, and the ebook or PDF is also provided. So in the as a reading materials in this course, you can refer as a ebook. And so let me start the unit 1. So the unit 1 composed of thermomechanical processes of materials, and it includes the introduction to thermomechanical process and conventional thermomechanical process. What are the conventional thermomechanical process, such as hot rolling, hot extrusion, hot forging, and what are the non-conventional thermomechanical process, such as friction stir welding process and multi-axial rolling, not in one direction, and it can be reversed also, multi-axial direction rolling process, and what are the defects comes out so during the thermomechanical process, such as cracks or maybe kind of the oxide layer formed over this particular product. So how to recover those particular defects will be discussed in this particular chapter 1. Now let me introduce the thermomechanical process, in short TMP. Thermomechanical processing, essentially it composed of two terms. One is thermo, the other term is mechanical, and processing of these two terms. What do you mean by mechanical? Mechanical, essentially it talks about plastic deformation, applied stresses on a material or component, whereas thermo refers to heat or thermal treatment, heat treatment. What is the effect of thermal treatment on this processing? So how does it helps? Temperature as well as a load, temperature. What is the relation in the processing? And it is nothing but, the definition of TMP is, it is shaping, nothing but mechanical, and heating, nothing but thermo. It is shaping and heating operations applied to the initial material which comes out after the casting, that is as cast material, applied this shaping, load and heating, temperature operations, which leads to the final products. You will get final product. For example, in the hot rolling, the final product will have better properties. For example, if you compare with respect to the strength and ductility, the strength and ductility for the as cast samples were poor. After TMP process, the properties were better. You mean the strength and ductility is improved. And during this particular TMP process, a material strongly influences the final properties. You usually talk about what are the final properties. With respect to the application, I need high strength, I need harder material, I need tough material, I need higher yield strength, high ultimate tensile strength material is a requirement for the application. So which can be achieved by TMP process. Now final point is, microstructure. The internal microstructure will also play an important role. For ASCAS structure, mainly the dendrites develop. So if you change the dendrite structure into the equiaxed grain, so it is nothing but the ductility is improved. And how do you do? By the thermomechanical process we are going to discuss. And another important parameter is microtextural changes will also occur during the thermomechanical processing. So what do you mean by microtexture? Texture is nothing but the appearance in a simple English. So in the case of microtexture means the Miller direction, combination of Miller direction and Miller plane. For example, 111 closed packed plane. So direction, closed packed direction. So if it is being managed with or manipulated in the thermomechanical process with strain rate and temperature, allowing all the closed packed direction grains to come up into the surface or align in one direction, all are at one preferred level, or we call it as a preferred orientation. Orientation is nothing but direction. Direction is nothing but Miller direction, which are referred in this part of the subject. Preferred orientation is nothing but microtexture. So how do you bring out? If you manipulate or if you manage to bring the preferred orientation, it is observed by the experimental methods that the strength and ductility is improved. So if you manage to get this particular preferred orientation or that particular preferred orientation, that's why this is also one of the key parameter. There is always a relation in case of TMP process, the process, properties, material and microstructure. So how it is? The center point is microstructure and microstructure evolution. So as a metallurgical engineer, you talk about microstructure and another advanced parameter, microtexture, preferred orientation. How does it is evolving, and in another words, it is related to the properties. Properties could be physical properties such as volume, length, dimension changes, and mechanical properties such as strength and ductility, and process by the process of thermo and mechanical load, applying the load and applying the temperature process is also related to the microstructure and texture evolution. And what are the materials are chosen for these applications to be studied, microstructure and microtexture? Materials are mainly metallic materials, metals, and on par with composites. Some of the composites, metal matrix composites such as aluminum matrix composites also studied in this particular subject. We are going to discuss. This particular diagram is called TMP, tetrahedron process, tetrahedron type pyramid. And now let us discuss or let us define the objectives of this thermomechanical processing. The objective of this particular process is to break the cast dendrite structures after casting by the thermomechanical processed materials such as rolling and extrusion and forging, choosing these, and refining the grain structure. What do you mean by refining the grain structure? As cast material is having the higher grain structure, after the TMP process the grain size is reduced, the comparison grain size refined, the grain size reduced. And understanding these concepts of controlling the microstructure, just like larger grain to smaller grains, and defining, getting the manipulating and managing the processing strain rate and temperature parameters to the microstructure evolutions, that is nothing but preferred orientation. These are the key parameters for deciding the property change or to improve the properties. Now let me take starting process. And when do you use thermomechanical process? Before thermomechanical process, you will get a product from ingot casting process. What ingot casting process consists of? It consists of steaming molten metal coming out from the ladle and stripping, taking out the solidified ingot from the mold and soaking to get the uniform dendrite structure. Solutionized annealing, choosing the solutionized annealing is nothing but soaking for 1 hour. And there are many ingot casting methods are existing in the industry level. One is up yield teaming process. The another thing is down yield teaming process. And here maximum you are getting the 2 molds or 2 castings at a time. More than 2 if you want to get, you can choose multi molds casting process. Simultaneously you can feed molten metal through the runner and gating system to the mold. You can get the many castings at a time. This is one type of ingot casting. And the structure, the output which you are getting, the product we call, the product is as cast structure, which we call ingot. After ingot casting we get ingot. So ingot have as cast structure. This is the microstructure observed in the microscope. This is a mold wall, this surface. This particular part is mold bottom and top, the other side. And you see inside this particular, near the mold wall, there will be fine equiaxed grains or crystals. And you will see at the center of this particular mold, equiaxed grains. And in between wall and center, you will see the dendrites. This is a main arm, just like a tree having a trunk, and these are the branches, trunk and branches, just like this. This is a main dendrite, and these are the dendrite arms and interdendrites. These arms also further grow. These are called interdendrites. This is the structure of as-cast structure, and there are defects exist in the as-cast structure, such as blowholes and pipes. These are basically oxides formed inside this casting product, ingot casting product. The other casting process is adapted in an integrated steel plant, such as continuous casting process, which produces the slab, billet and bloom. For example, if you study the slab production continuous casting process, you will take a molten metal in the ladle, allow it for the teaming and filling the tundish, and allow this tundish get removed and allow it into the mold, and allowing these particular rolls to operate, and simultaneously cooling, primary cooling and secondary cooling on this particular strand. These rolls allows to move. Finally it is solidified. This is reached to the near room temperature, solidified, and using a torch you will cut it. This, maintaining the dimensions of slab, you can produce. Similarly, you can use another mold to produce the billet dimensions, bloom dimensions. Billet dimensions are square type cross section. This is bloom is rectangle type cross section. Slab is a sheet form of cross section. If a lower thickness is produced. Even then, in the continuous casting process also, few defects comes out, such as cracks. It could be rhomboidal shape, oval shape, and pinholes, oxides, transverse direction cracks, longitudinal direction, off lines, off corner cracks. These are the defects comes out. You cannot use this defect casting product as it is. You need to remove this particular casting defects. For that, after casting for the as-cast structure, for example AZ91 magnesium alloy, the as-cast structure is composed of dendrite structure, lower solute content. The solutes are very low. You mean deoxidizes and getting it equiaxed structure is very low. And if after solution is annealing is chosen, so these dendrite structures are equiaxed, equal in the size or dimensions approximately. So interdendrite structure means this is a main arm, again this particular arm is gone with the dendrites arms. So that is why you call it as interdendrites. Interdendrites are nothing but mainly intermetallic precipitates. Or if you see this microstructure, this is intermetallic phases. For example, iron nickel, Fe3N or Na3Fe. These particular intermetallics are observed in the case of magnesium alloy, and that is why this ASCAS structure is not good for direct application. Why? It is because the mechanical properties of ASCAS structure is the strength and ductility are poor, and cast structure mainly contains cavities and porosities. Cavities are larger in size, porosity is nothing but smaller oxide pores. Cavities are volume, larger size voids. Void is larger than the cavity, and these are the main sources for nucleation of the crack, and this particular crack propagate and initiate to the through this particular interdendrites it fractures. So you need to avoid, you need to weld these internal cracks. So how do you do? What is the solution for all these particular problems will be discussed in this particular part of the unit. That is, you will choose a process called thermomechanical process, such as hot rolling process. After as casting, ASCAS structure has coarser grain structure. Once you choose this particular hot rolling process at a temperature, at a fixed strain rate, so you will see this cross section is changed. This is nothing but done, hot rolling is nothing but plastic deformation. Subjected to the plastic deformation, the grains are elongated. Interdendric grain structures are elongated grains, converted into the elongated grains. And if you see this end product, so it is coming out at this location. These are the at the center location equiaxed grains, just like in the casting product, center equiaxed grains. In the end product you will see finer grains, just like ASCAS structure, you will be getting finer grains. This is a mixture of grain structure you will be getting after the thermomechanical process. Initially the dendrite structure is broken into the elongated grains, equiaxed grains and finer grains, which are regular in a shape and size and dimensions of the grain area. So now further, if you choose a process called annealing process, homogenized annealing process, you will get all the grains into the equiaxed grains, and that particular microstructure sample can be chosen as a starting material, and you can subject to the studying the properties and changing with respect to the microstructure and evolution for the different applications you can do. So you develop that particular structure through this particular TMP process only. Now let us understand the concepts grain refinement through TMP route. How does the grain refinement will occur? So larger grain to the smaller grain, is it only because of the applying stresses? Is there any other parameters are depending? The persons scientist called Hall and Petch developed a relation between yield stress and grain size. The complete expression is yield stress, this is a bulk stress, the overall stress, this is a grain size, this is a material constant with respect to the steel and steel alloy. The material constants mostly it is less than 1. This relation is developed, concluded in the a journal material or journal, active material or journal, it is that this particular yield stress as a relation with the square root of the grain size, that so as the grain size is increasing 20 micron, this is 5 micron meter grain size, this is 20 microns. So this is a larger grain, this is a smaller grain, and this is a stress in megapascal, 100 megapascal to 600 megapascal. For example, if you see in this particular the yield stress situation or bulk stress situation, that the 200 around 190 megapascal, around 17 micron meter grain size having higher strength, means lower the grain size, higher the strength. That is why the yield stress is inverse in relation, which was developed by, this is a constituent equation. You can develop a mathematical model, you can do the physical simulations, physical experiments, smaller, and physical simulations by the finite elemental methods. You can study further at different stress and strain or grain size level. You can study, there is a opportunity exist. Now the another scientist, the combination of scientists Jenner and Ullman developed a parameter called Z, which is nothing but a strain rate. The strain rate is related to the strain rate parameter. Jenner parameter is epsilon naught is nothing but strain rate, expansion of Q is nothing but activation energy, R is gas constant, T is the temperature. This particular Jenner and Ullman parameter mainly gives an idea about that higher deformation temperatures will provide higher grain size if you choose higher temperature, but combination of higher strain rate is also chosen, so you will get lower grain size. In other words, the strength of the material will be improved. That is why the strain rate and the strain rate, in this case of thing, strain rate and this particular temperature and strain rate are inverse in relation in the case of Jenner and Ullman parameter. So it is shown in this particular Journal of Material Processing Technology. From this particular journal we pick up this particular result. This is natural logarithm grain size distribution, grain size values. This is Jenner and Ullman parameter, which includes the strain rate and temperatures. That this, if the lower grain size, this is lower grain size, this ZH parameter is very high, lower grain size very high. So higher strain rate, it means higher deformation temperature chosen, so you will be getting the lower grain size 0.5 micron meter or 3 micron meter. So for example, this at 33 you will be getting the 3 micron size, at 43 you will be getting the 0.01 micron meter. So this gives an idea about conceptual idea of temperature and strain rate. Now the another parameter, that microstructure. These are the microstructure taken from the scanning electron microscope attached with advanced equipment called energy dispersive spectroscopy, dispersive spectrometer or detector. So electron diffraction, backscatter electron diffraction detectors attached, so that you can give the color code, so with the image processing, and you can interpret using, this is called inverse fold figure. This particular standards are as per the simulation, it has been standardized, this inverse fold figure. This is 001 direction, this is 101, this is 11 direction, corresponding blue color, corresponding green color, corresponding red color. These grains, after rolling, first initially you will take ingot casting subject to the hot rolling, And if you subject to the TMP process, rolling, such as rolling direction, transverse direction, or we'll call it as a reference direction of that particular mechanical process. It could be the rolling, it could be the forging, it could be the extrusion. We call it as a reference direction. You will see the grain structure with respect to the Miller directions. It can be interpreted in the form of pole figure. It can be interpreted with respect to the orientation distribution functional maps, ODF functional maps. These are the components are manufactured. You got this particular accuracy by controlling the microstructure and microstructure. Texture by the IBF, pole figure and ODF, and microstructure by the scanning electron microscopy structure. And these are the few of the defects are comes out usually in the TMP process. So how do you control? This is kind of in a bowl, ears formed. In the tin can, coke can, the ears are formed. So earring is due to the anisotropy. That means isotropy means properties in one direction. Anisotropy means the properties are not in one direction. So it random direction. So how do you change this particular defect? By interpreting these particular pole figures. If you see, this is the sample, these are the grain boundaries. Inside the grain boundaries there will be crystals, crystal lattice, arrangement of crystal lattice. This is a transverse direction, this is a normal direction, and this is reference direction with respect to the rolling, forging, extrusion process. So if you manage to do changing this particular strain rate and temperature, you can get all this particular 001 normal directions in the one preference directions. All are in a preferred orientation, whereas in this thing randomly oriented grains are there. Then you will say that this particular pole figure between the rolling direction, transverse direction, this is a 001 pole figure. This is this particular inverse pole figure related to the 101 inverse pole figure. So it has highest strength. So if you manage to do these particular things, so it will be discussed more, so micro texture, in a topic called stereographic projection, pole figure, inverse pole figure, and textural changes or micro texture. You will be discussed more. But here I am correlating with respect to the theoretical parameters with respect to the maps called pole figure, inverse pole figure, orientation distribution function maps, and how do you achieve these particular components are concluded here. So controlling the microstructure is very important. So if you make it possible, so you can make it possible to remove these particular defects during the TMP process. Now concluding this particular today lecture, that write down the following questions, that what is thermomechanical process, how to break ingot as-cast structure, choosing the thermomechanical processing, why the TMP process is necessary to modify as-cast structure into the uniform structure. So where the solutionized annealing will occur, temperature and strain rates are used so that the as-cast structure will be modified, dendrite structure will be modified or broken. Now how grain refinement will occur, how does larger grain size is changed to the smaller grains, using Hall-Petch relation it can be explained. And what is the relation between the strain rate and temperature? You can explain this using Giner and Ullmann parameter.